Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear students, today we are going to start with a new chapter of part 1 SSLC, that is real numbers. Before starting with the chapter, I would like to give some introduction about the chapter. So, let me start with the meaning of real number. Real number is a value that represents on a number line. I hope you all are knowing the number line. So, for reference, I have drawn a short number line consisting of 0, 1, 2, 3 as well as -1, -2, -3. So, real number means it tells us the value on the number line. The number line will have 0 along with positive integers and negative integers. From the 0, the RHS is the positive and the LHS is the negative. So it is denoted by capital R. Real numbers are denoted by capital R. So now, real numbers include, what all real numbers have? I have told that it is represented on the number line and it is denoted by 0. What all it has? Real numbers has positive number and negative number, as I told you in the number line. So those positive numbers and negative numbers are called as integers. I have underlined those three words. So it even has decimals and natural numbers, whole numbers. You know what is whole numbers? Whole numbers are the numbers which are counting numbers and which will start from 0, 1, 2, 3. Following it, natural numbers. Natural numbers are those numbers which will begin from 1, 2, 3. Real numbers also include rational and irrational number. And even it consists of all types of numbers. Rational numbers means, rational integers means, you can tell it as P by Q, where Q does not belong to 0. Now, I would like to tell you the next part. How you represent rational number on number line. So I told you it is P by Q, where Q does not belong to 0. So here I have taken an example. Let us consider that P by Q, where P is 2 and Q is 7. I have told you if rational number means Q should not be 0. In the denominator should not be 0. So P by Q, where we have taken an example of 2 by 7. Let us draw 7 points on a number line because we have the denominator 7. On the second part, they have told 2 of 7. So what will this? On the second part, we will be writing it as 2 by 7. Integers include positive and negative numbers. So as I have told what all integers include? Positive as well as negative numbers. So in this first exercise, you will be learning about Euclid's division lemma. What is Euclid's division lemma? If A and B are two given positive integers. Suppose they will be given two integers. So those two integers, what it will be? A and B. They are two different integers. Then there exist a unique integers Q and R. So if A and B are given, they will be positive integers, but there will be a unique integer called Q and R. What is it, Q and R? I will explain you while solving the sum. Such that, what is Euclid's division lemma? You have to remember this. A is equal to B into Q plus R. I have told Q and R as unique integers that will be in Euclid's division lemma. So where 0, let us read it like this. B is greater than R. B value will be greater than the remainder. Remainder will be greater or equal to 0. Is it clear? I hope you have understood this. If you want to note down, you can surely note down. Now with the last part of it, I'll tell you what is the meaning of Euclid's division algorithm. It is a technique. The Euclid's division algorithm is a technique to compute HCF of two given integers. In Euclid's division algorithm, it is a technique to find the HCF. HCF means highest common factor. Two integers will be given to us. We will have to find the HCF of that. So let us start with the sum. So this is the first sum of the exercise. So here they have told by Euclid's division algorithm you have to find the HCF. So consider for this sum, if the numbers are small, so we will do with this method. I'll tell you what is the differentiating. According to Euclid's division algorithm, the number, both the number which is the biggest number, you have to keep it. So you have to keep it in the dividend space, and 135, the rest one will be here. So it is called as divisor. So 135 ones are 135. When you deduct 225 from 135, the remainder is 90. You have to write it in the form of A is equal to B into Q plus R. So our A, what will be our A? A will be 225. B will be 135. Into 1 will be our Q. And R means remainder. So this is called as dividend, divisor, quotient, remainder. The sum has not been completed, yet we have to do. So next part is we have to take the divisor again, and what will be having the remainder, that is 90. We will again keep it down. So 90 ones are 90. Deduct 135 from 90, you will get 45. Again the same method to be followed. You have to keep the divisor in the form of A is equal to B. B in the sense you will be keeping out our, what is this B? As I have explained you above. What was this B? This B is called as divisor into 1. 1. This 1 is called as quotient in plus remainder. Q means quotient. R means remainder. A means, what is A? What is A? A is our divisor, and this is our dividend. A is our divisor and A 90. B is our dividend. So yet we have to solve this until we get the value as 0. Let us take again the divisor and keep it out here, and we will keep the dividend outside. 45 2s is 90. 90 minus 20 is 0. So therefore A into B into A is equal to B into Q plus R. Since we got the remainder as 0, we can conclude that HCF of 135 and 225 is, what will be the HCF? This part. The divisor will be our HCF. The last divisor, when we get the answer 0, that divisor is called as our HCF. That we will be considering as our HCF. Same the next sum. Here I have solved it in a division manner itself, because when you will be having huge number, consider you are having 38,220 and 196. So you will keep 38,220 over here and 196 over here. First 196 ones are 196. When you deduct 382 from 196, you get 186. So you will take the 2 down. Again 196 9s is 1764. When you deduct it, you will get 98. So then followed by, you will take the 0 down. 196 5s is exactly 980. So when you deduct it, you will get it as 000. So the remainder is 0. As we had got it, we will put it in the form of Euclid's division algorithm. So what I have told, you will be writing down the dividend. Dividend is 38,220 is equal to B. B means our dividend. Dividend, what is our dividend? 196 into quotient. Quotient means 195. Our answer, that is, remember, you have to remember our answer is called as quotient in mathematics. In division, and the remainder is R. I have kept it as 0. So the HCF of 38,220 and 196 is what? The same. What will be it? I told you, right, in the previous sums, you will be getting the dividend, so you will be considering the divisor itself as the HCF. We have done this method because of the huge number. Following by the next sum, we are having the small number, so we will follow it by the same method as we had done in the first sum. According to Euclid's division algorithm, first let us consider 867. The biggest number should be written here, should be considered, and 255. 255 3 is 765. When you deduct it, the remaining will be 102. 867 A and B. What is the B value? That is our divisor into quotient into 3 plus remainder. Again we will take the 255 here, and with the remainder we will divide it. 102 2 is 204. When we deduct 255 from 204, the remaining value is 51. Same, we will write it to A into B, A is equal to B into Q plus remainder, that is 51. Yet we did not get the 0. We have to follow the step until we get the value as 0. Again we will keep 102 in 102, and we will deduct it by divide it by 51. 51 2 is 102. So the remainder will be 0. Since the remainder is 0, we will again put it in the according to the Euclid's division algorithm. 102 is equal to 51 into 2 plus 0. Since remainder we have got it as 0, we can conclude that HCF of 861 and 867 and 255 is what? Is 51. So the divisor is considered as our HCF. I hope you have understood this. Let us move to the next sum. Second sum, that is, show that any positive odd integer is of the form of 6q plus 1, 6q plus 3, 6q or 6q plus 5, where q is some integer. So we have to solve this according to Euclid's division algorithm. So what is Euclid's division algorithm? I had told you in the previous three sums. A is equal to B into Q plus R. Let us consider. So they have not given us the A value. They have given us the B value, that is 6q. So let us consider A as any positive odd integer, because in the question they have given positive odd integer. We have to show that. So let us consider A as any positive odd integer, and let B be 6. Why we have taken B as 6? Because in the question itself they have given. Okay. Next is what again I have written down the formula. A is equal to B into Q plus R, where last time I had told you while explaining the introduction part, the B means here it is as 6. 6 is greater than R. The remainders will be less than the 6, and R is greater than 0. So the remainders will be from 0 till the value of R. The value of R will be less than 6. The possible remainders. So if 6 is the highest number, so the possible remainders will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here I have mentioned it, equal to, more than, yeah, equal to. So what are the possible answers here? So the answer forms as A. As we don't know the value of A, we will keep it the same. 6q plus 0. We have kept the remainder part as vacant. So we will put down the values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As we had got that the remainders will be less than 6. Since A is a positive odd integer, we only consider what we will consider it is an odd integer, right? Positive. All the numbers are positive here. And only we consider odd integer. It is clearly mentioned in the question. So we will consider only odd numbers. 0 is an even number, so 1 is an odd. 2 is an even, 3 is an odd. And 4 is an even, 5 is an odd. So only we will consider 6. A is equal to 6 into Q plus 1. A is equal to 6 into Q plus 3. A is equal to 6 into Q plus 5. So only we will consider these three. I hope you have understood the second question. Now let's go to the third question. An army contingent of 616 members is to march behind an army band of 32 members. So you have seen the band members who will be in the most of the functions will be, you might have seen in the Republic Day, in your schools during the Republic Day, Independence Day, or you might have seen on the television. So there is an army band which consists of 32 members, but the army contingent is of 616 members in the parade. Two groups are to march. So there are two groups to march on the same number of columns. So what is the maximum columns in which they can march? Now we have to find the maximum number of columns. Maximum means you have to find the highest number. Highest number means HCF. We will solve it according to HCF according to Euclid's division algorithm. The maximum number of columns must be selected in such a way that it should be maximum and must divide the number, both the numbers. So we are having two numbers, right? 6, 16 and 32. We have to find the maximum number of columns in which they should be divided. Both the two numbers should be divided. Means because we use division, right, in Euclid's division algorithm. So let me keep 6, 16 and 32. 6, 16 is the highest number. 32 ones are 32. So when I divide 61 by 32, 29 remains. One more point to remember is where you have to always take the whole number down. After that only, now you can ask the question, if the remainder is 8, have you concluded the sum? Yet we have not concluded the sum. But the upper number which we have left down, we have to take it down. So we have, it has been, we have got as a 296. Again 32 9s is 288. 8 remains. So 616 is equal to 32 into 19 plus remainder is 8. Now let me take 32 here. 32 and 8. 8 4s are 32. What remains is 0. So when we got 0, 32 is equal to 8 into 4. Just a minute. 8 into 4 plus 0. So HCF of 6, 16 and 32 is 8. And I have told you, the divisor will become our highest common factor. Hence the maximum number of columns in which they can march are 8. They had told us to calculate the maximum number of columns. So the highest common factor only will be the maximum number of columns to be marched. So I hope you have understood the third sum. Let me go to the fourth sum. So Euclid's division lemma. To show that the square of any positive integer is either of the form 3m or 3m plus 1 for some integer m. So let's be very short. Let me explain this sum. Let x be any positive integer. As they have not given any integer, the value of an integer, so let me take positive integer. Let x be the value of a positive integer, and they have given us the value of b, that is 3. According to Euclid's division algorithm, so x, instead of a we have taken it as x is equal to b means 3. If any symbol is not there, you have to consider it as multiplication. Q plus r we have to find out. So as they have given us 3 should be greater than 3 is the highest number, and r should be less than 3, and 0 should be the less than r. So the r will be the highest power, and for r the 3 will be the highest power. The possible remainders of our 3 are, except 3, the remaining numbers you have to write down from 0. So the possible remainders for 3 are 0, 1 and 2. Now let us consider the formula. A is equal to b into q plus r. Let me consider, they have told us 3. They had given us the value of b as a 3. Let us consider, they have told us that in the hint they have given that you have to use the squares of it. In the question they had explained us regarding that you have to consider the squares of it. So let me take an example. A is equal to 2. Let me take an example that a is 2. The square of a square is 4. 2 2s are 4. So we have to divide 4 from 3. 3 1s are 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. Let me take the next example. Let a be 3 and a square is 9. 3 square is 9. So 3 3s are 9. So 0. Let me take the next example, that is a 4 and a square is 16. So let me take 16 and divide by 3. 3 5s are 15 and the remainder is 1. Here by solving these three sums, I have got the remainder 1, 0, 1. You might take the further examples and also solve. But for the exam point of view, if you solve 2 or 3 examples is enough. So the remainders derived from solving the above sums are 0 and 1. So in the question they had told us that you have to prove that any positive integer is either of the form of 3m. 3m means 3m plus 0, 3m plus 1. You have to prove this, they have told. As we have solved these 3 examples, I have proved it out. Hence the square of any positive integer is 3m or 3m plus 1. There is no need of writing plus 0 over here. You can write down this much. I hope you have understood this sum. So let's move to the last sum, that is use Euclid's division lemma to show that cube. Last time we had solved the square. Now we have to solve with the cube of any positive integer is of the form 9m plus 1 or 9m plus 8. So let me consider that any positive integer. In the question they have clearly mentioned that positive integer. In the previous question, in some questions they had told about positive odd integer like that and all. In this question it is clearly mentioned that it is a positive integer. So let a be any positive integer. Let it be anything. We will keep constant as a itself. And b value they have given us as 9. So what they have told is 9m plus 0, 9m plus 1 or 9m plus 8. You have to prove it. They have told us to prove. So they have told us to prove. Let me keep a cube as they have told in the question, a cube, right? A cube is equal to 9m plus r. This is according to our Euclid's division algorithm, but we have changed it into cube because of the question. The remainders what they have given, they have already given us the remainders in this question. So we will write down whatever the remainders was been given, 0, 1 and 8. After plus you will be having r, right? So those are our remainders, 0, 1 or 8. So let us consider an example, that is like last time I have taken the value of a is 2. So here a cube means how? A is 2. So for that a cube will be 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8. So let me keep 8, and they had told us it will be divided by 9. With the divisor we will be dividing it, right? So 9, 8 is smaller, so 9 0 is a 0, 8 minus 0 is 8. Let me take the next example, 3. A is equal to 3, so a cube is 27. 9 3 is a 27. Here I have got the remainder as 0. Followed by, let me consider a4. For a cube is equal to, for 4 cube is equal to 64. So we had to divide it by 9. 9 7s are 63, the nearest number to that. So the remainder is 1. Hence we got the remainders. In the first one we had got it as 8, 0, and here we have got it as 1. Hence we got the remainders 0, 1 or 8. In the previous sum I had told you, right, you can solve minimum 2 or 3 examples. Approximately solve 3 short examples to prove it. Cube of any positive integer is of the form 9m, means 9m plus 0, the remainder was 0, 1, here it is, and 9m plus 8. Hence we have proved this. I hope you all have understood this chapter. If any doubt you can just ask me, and try to solve as much as the textbook examples too.